It's 8:30. Good morning. I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. There's mounting pressure on the state government with another former resident of the Stockton Centre taken to hospital after being moved into a group home. The Herald reports the resident is the fifth to be taken to hospital. Two of those residents sadly died. The Public Service Association says the residents aren't receiving the same level of care once they move into a group home, with staff there given only minimal training. Family and Community Services has responded to claims the Hunter is struggling with a lack of caseworkers. A spokesperson for the service says more children than ever before who are at risk of significant harm have received a face-to-face assessment from a caseworker. However, the latest figures for the March quarter show a 60% increase in the number of vacant child caseworker positions. Wallsend MP Sonia Hornery says vulnerable children are being hit the hardest.
Children are going without face-to-face assessments from caseworkers, and it is hurting them, and it's something that we need to address. Having this amount of vacancies in the Hunter is unacceptable. Let's fill those 20 positions as soon as possible, please.
The state opposition's policy commitment to affordable housing is being welcomed by the St Vincent de Paul Society in the Hunter. Luke Foley says a future Labor government would set aside 25% of government-owned land for affordable housing in a bid to ease the housing crisis. The Society's Executive Officer for Maitland Newcastle, Denise Lucas, says they're seeing more families struggling to afford rental accommodation than ever before.
We come across many families who are on the verge of losing rental properties because they just can't keep up when an unexpected bill arrives. So we're often dealing with people who are on the verge of losing their tenancy.
However, Parliamentary Secretary for the Hunter, Scott MacDonald, says Labor's policy flies in the face of the local member for Newcastle, who rubbished an offer of land and cash from the state government to build 30 affordable housing units on the former heavy rail corridor.
Look, I'm just disappointed with a chaotic announcement that doesn't seem to being backed up by their local representatives at a local and state level. So they need to get their house in order. If you're going to have plans for housing, make sure that the whole team's on board.
Singleton residents can now drop into the local Visitor Information and Enterprise Centre and pay their bills while browsing the shop and looking for something to do in the area. The centre is at the opening of the southern gateway to Singleton and has become a place where residents can pay council and water rates, register companion animals, organise advertising and much more. Director of Corporate and Community Services Anthony Egan says the centre will get even better soon with plans for a cafe in the works.
Another new thing that's going to be appearing shortly is a dedicated cafe, and we're looking at having that open up early July. So another draw card to get the people passing through or local residents to come and sit down in a nice park nearby and also enjoy some tea and coffee.
The Hunter has had its coldest morning since last winter. The mercury dropped to minus 2.2 degrees at Cessnock at 5:45, while Cooranbong dipped to just below freezing. Elsewhere, it was a balmy 7.5 at Nobbies and 4.2 at Williamtown. The Weather Bureau says there's a slight chance of a dusting of snow on the Barrington tops later today.
Sport for our sponsor, PRD Nationwide East Maitland.
Mick Bolch is reportedly leaving Hamilton Olympic at the end of the 2017 season and may end up at Maitland. The Magpies are on the hunt for a new coach in 2018 and Bolch would appear to be the perfect candidate. Experienced defender Shane Cansdell-Sheriff is believed to be among the contenders to take over at Maitland next year. Disgraced Melbourne Storm forward Jesse Bromwich will return to the side after a 2-week ban for cocaine use, and Knights man Daniel Safiti says he'll be a handful. Safiti called the Kiwi international the best front rower in the world, but says he's confident the challenge of facing Bromwich can bring out the best in him. And Newcastle Paralympian Kurt Fearnley has produced a World Championship A qualifier during a meet in Switzerland at the weekend. His times of just under 10 minutes in the 5,000 metre race were under the previous world record, which puts him in the picture for July's World Paralympic Championships in London. And the winning numbers in Monday Lotto are 42, 18, 20, 27, 22 and 11, and the supplementaries are 34 and 2. 2NURFM News Time, 26 to 9.